I gotta say, in fairness, when we were first starting breaking the episodes for the show, Damon wanted to bring the others in, like literally in the first episode after the pilot. Like there was this whole thing, and I remember discussing, how to put it off and why, and we decided to do that. So that what's interesting is that while, certainly the decision of kind of how do we introduce the who's in charge of it all, and is a complicated ongoing thing, the story was in place so early on. And I'm actually really grateful that we waited as long as we did, because we never would have been, I think, as lucky to get these particular people to play those parts. So the story was in place. The specifics didn't.
But there is an organic quality to making a television show work, and that is if you, as a writer, respond to something. That's actually the most exciting part of doing the job, is watching someone on film and being activated by what they do as an actor. And for us, one of I think the things that really defines Lost is it approached casting in a new way. And as Damon and JJ have both talked about, there was sort of a reverse engineering where certain actors, they fell in love with certain actors at the beginning, and then parts were written around those actors. And we've kind of continued to do that. So, for instance, when Michael came on the show, we were thinking about, okay, we knew that we were going to catch another, and he was going to be sort of a prisoner of war. And we started thinking about actors that we liked, and we basically said, well, what about Michael Emerson, who had won an Emmy for this incredible performance on The Practice? And and we called him up, and he was like walking down the street in New York, and it was the middle of winter, and we were like, hey, you want to go to Hawaii? And he waited about 4 seconds and said, yes. But then once he actually got on the show, we really fell in love with what his character was doing. And so that character was going to be in 3 episodes and ended up becoming in 8 episodes. And so that part is organic. But as JJ said, the concept of the others and their role in the story is predefined. Things like that are the organic parts that you adjust to as a writer as you go along and make the show week to week.
So when Michael's character, Ben, was being held hostage in the hatch. In the hatch, yeah. And he was kind of the sniveling character. Did you know then that you were going to flip it and that he was going to turn out to be the leader of these guys?
We knew that he was we wanted the character to be the leader of the others, but if the actor had sucked, he would not have been.
Interesting.
He would have been the second in command.
Well, this will be a good opportunity for people to go back through the DVDs and see who you thought sucked and who did not blossom, as we say.
In all honesty, it's really not as simple as that. As much as it sounds like it is a story, it is the God's honest truth that Michelle Rodriguez, for example, came to us and said, I only am interested in doing the show for a year. So she first appeared in a flashback with Matthew towards the end of season 1, where they meet at the bar, and we knew we were going to do the tail section story, and that she was going to be a cop, and that the tail section people, there were going to be much less of them, and that they were going to end up merging around 1/3 of the way through season 2. So we knew all those things, and we also knew that Michelle was going to die, shortly before the ending of season 2, and that she would probably be killed by Michael. But the way that we sort of got there, in terms of would that coincide with Henry Gale's escape? We did not know, but we also knew that we were going to catch another. So you take ideas that are seemingly disparate, and then the strands begin to come together, and you go, that's what it is. So in that case, that was a perfectly planned out death, and you can't look at the show and go, oh, they hated Michelle Rodriguez. But, for example, one thing that did occur to us was, hey, she could be a potential, she could make this love triangle that now exists between Jack, Kate, and Sawyer a love square or a rectangle or whatever it is. She could be a romantic foil for Sawyer and or Jack, But the thing is, the way that we introduced that character into the show, she was so despised by the time the camps merged that it wouldn't have been viable for either Jack or Sawyer to be sort of romantically interested in her. So we said, we're not going to do that anymore, even though that was kind of when we began to draw the character up, what was our original plan. But when you make course corrections like that, that doesn't change the fact that the island's a big spaceship. I mean,
what?
You said you wanted to know.
Yeah.
Now what I'm thinking is, okay, well, we now know it's not a spaceship, or you're very clever and you throw that out there as a joke, and then it's
kind of a hall of mirrors, isn't it?
What is this? Tell us what the goddamn island is, please. Tell us something. Can you tell us something that... Just tell us something. Please.
Please?
Can you give us a little something that, I mean, everybody's here and they had to valet their cars and everything like that. Can you give us a little nugget that maybe people don't know, just a little something? Look at the two of you.
They're conferring.
On advice of counsel.
As much as, we want to tease and tantalize, as opposed to what's going on, it's like, it's that moment when you suddenly realize, David Copperfield has a twin brother that nobody knows about, that you can never see another David Copperfield trick again and go, oh, I know how he did that. He has a twin brother. So,
Are you kidding me? He's got a twin brother?
It's an identical twin brother.
Well, that's something.
Yeah. But,
There's two of him?
There's two.
I mean, we agonized over those clips we put in the reel. I mean, literally, we were like going, well, should we show them that? Should we show them that? Should we see, that little snippet? So we sort of, you didn't see that, Jimmy. We'll send that to you.
Yeah, well, no, I did. I watched it backstage, and I was absorbed by it because I love the show, and I so much want to know what's going on. It just seems like you could tell us something. Tell JJ, he doesn't know what's going on.
I don't work there. I'm curious. Yeah, tell us what happened.
JJ, tell us about the wedding. Did Tom look beautiful or what?
It was a beautiful ceremony.
Brian, what about you? They stuck you in the back row. You can tell us.
Story of my
right?
life. What would you like to know?
Everything. I want to know. Jeff, give us a little something, and just to get into these, just to make them crazy.
Sorry.
You do have a very tight ship, but that's what's going to happen, though. One of you is going to get mad eventually, maybe as a result of this very night. I don't know.
No, the mad writers always say they're making it up as they go along because that is sort of the first ring of of trust that people must pass through before they make it through the paddle ceremony.
And then they realize after a couple of years that you are indeed just making it up as you go.